What's up, guys? Lore here with more Heart of the Swarm beta action. This is another completely and totally random replay. I have no idea who these players are, but, well, let's find out. Let's start out by taking a look over here in the southeast corner here on Star Station. We have our Terran player in the red. It is GornWood. And then up over here in the northwest corner as the blue Terran, we have none other than prOxy. Who I still have no idea who either of these players are. Remember, these are replays much like the ones that I was talking about before. These are replays that I'm just sort of pulling off of the interwebs. These are from drop.sc, a great site to host your replays. If, for example, you would like to send them in to me so that I can cast them, that would be fantastic. You should send me your replays if you're a Heart of the Swarm beta player, and I will cast them much like I am casting this game between prOxy and GornWood. So, interesting little separation of their strategies here at the start. prOxy is putting his supply depot here in between the refinery. I'm assuming his first refinery is going to come down over here, and his command center. And then, yep, there's that refinery right there. He's actually going gas first, whereas his opponent is going bunker first. So a little bit of difference there as well. But talking about the supply depot positioning, it's interesting to note the difference, honestly. We can see, oh, there's a barracks going down for prOxy. Putting the supply depot right here and that barracks right there is going to defend him a lot against early Hellion aggression. That's something he may be worried about quite a bit. He'll probably drop down another supply depot over here, and he can lift that supply depot, lift whatever depot he can put over there, or honestly probably never even sink it. And then that blocks off that entire entrance to that mineral line, meaning that the Hellions would have to come in from this direction, which incidentally is actually the direction that the ramp is from, so kind of would have liked to have seen that wall in going on over here instead of over there. But very, very good planning nonetheless. It's a very, very good concept. Would have liked to see that done in a slightly different position. Whereas down here with this supply depot, well, I would have said with the supply depot up by the ramp, I would have been expecting a wall in, but then he's actually decided to build his tech lab on his barracks all the way back here. He's actually going for a very fast Reaper. And he's showing that something is building, and he's now shown that tech lab as well. That has been scouted. He's going to see this second barracks up over here as well. So, two barracks with only one refinery. He did drop that tech lab, but I do not believe prOxy saw it. No, he did not. And he's not going to go back and take a look at it either. But two barracks with two tech labs. And with a Reaper popping out, I'm almost wondering if we're going to see some very heavy early Reaper aggression. They have given the Reaper a little bit of love in terms of what they're actually capable to do now. They have this combat drugs passive, which causes them to quickly regenerate life outside of combat, and they can now actually see up cliffs, which is very, very important. Relatively recent change in the Heart of the Swarm beta. I'm really, really curious to see how well that ends up working out. Looks like GornWood's SCV did get a little bit of scouting in. Did not see this factory though, so does not know that there's in fact Hellions on the way. 2 Hellions now in production, and he is getting that blue flame upgrade. Reaper is chasing off this SCV, does manage to pick him off. Again, remember that he can see, as you can see, it's even illuminating right there. Does allow him to see up cliffs, which meant that the SCV going up that cliff really wasn't going to do him any good at all. That SCV was just screwed from the get-go. So, yeah, getting them Hellions out. Is he going to continue? Yeah, he's actually adding on even more Hellions. I wonder how many he's going to get up to before he goes in for an attack. And yeah, looking at GornWood here, excuse me, he's definitely going for some pretty fast Reaper harassment. He is also behind this, getting his command center up for his expansion, and he's adding on a factory over here. Looks like he's going to quickly move that factory down onto this tech lab. And he's adding on a reactor to his barracks. But here come the Reapers. They're going to be able to scout up that ramp, just sort of poke around, look for a good spot to hop in. And are they going to jump in there? They are going to jump in right there, but immediately get hit by those Hellions. Nice split, though, spreading them out. Going to lose one of them, maybe two. No, does manage to save that other one, and now they're going to hop out of there. Nice micro, actually. Those guys are just barely alive. Ooh, nice work. He's going to hop back up in here. Decides to take some pot shots at that refinery. Don't know that that was the best use of his time, and now he's actually just going to lose both of them. Seems to, oh, maybe not. He's actually, now the SCVs are going to kill him finally, but he did manage to take out that Hellion and that other SCV. Not really Nothing really going on over here as well. I'm not really sure why he just stopped microing that Reaper entirely. I felt like he could have done some more damage with those Reapers over there. But that was a nice move. Popping up, poking a little bit, popping back down because he saw that those Hellions swooping around because he was able to see up the ramps with, or excuse me, see up the cliff with those Reapers. So very nice little poke there from GornWood. Micro fell apart a little bit towards the end, but otherwise was a very nice little exchange. So we now see prOxy adding on his command center. He is going to go ahead and morph the orbital command before he moves it over. That's usually a sign that he's a little bit hesitant to build it. He didn't want to build the command center over here, and he didn't want to land it and then morph it. I'm actually wondering if he's going to immediately lift it up. Yes, he is. Okay, sometimes when they do that, in fact, usually when they do that, you'll see them drop down a mule first and then move it over, but that is not what he's decided to do here. Widow Mine out now, protecting this front area for GornWood here. And there's a scan coming down from prOxy. So he elected to use a scan this early on instead of a... oh, he didn't even see... Saw basically nothing with that. He will have seen the... Let me grab somebody over here. Oh, by the way, there's a Banshee out now, along with those Blue Flame Hellions. That's a lot of Blue Flame Hellions. This could actually be a really scary push. So never mind what I was talking about before. These Hellions are moving in now. He's going to drop down another scan, sees that Widow Mine, takes a shot at it real quick. Doesn't finish it off, and wow, he's actually losing a ton to those Hellions, but the Banshee is now here. He does not have, GornWood does not have anything that can shoot up. He literally does not even have a Marine. There is nothing he can do about this right now. He needs to get out Marines in a hurry. He's not building anything with his barracks just yet. He's getting out Widow Mines, and I believe the Widow Mines could actually take out this Banshee if he was to burrow them nearby. He's going to send them over there, and I think that's how they work. I'm not actually 100% sure right now. He's going to drop down the Widow Mines, but they're too far away. They can't do anything from there. This Banshee is just wreaking havoc. Already up to 7 kills, all of which I'm pretty sure are SCVs. He now has boxed that Banshee in, but there's such a wide area over here for that Banshee to get away that I'm not sure that he can actually... Seriously, he needs to, like, make a Marine. Just make a Marine, dude. There's now a second... there he's now making that Marine. There's now a second Banshee over here dealing some damage. He's going to try and poke down this this tank. He's going to poke at some more SCVs. Really just tons of damage being dealt with this attack from prOxy. GornWood was just completely not ready for this in the slightest. He is going to get that Marine out, but one Marine at this point isn't going to do anything against 2 Banshees. Now the Hellions are now coming in at the front again. What happened to that other Banshee? Did the... I feel like the other Banshee may have died to the Widow Mine that was over there. And in fact, now this second one seems to have died as well. So that did end up getting cleaned up, probably due to poor management on the Banshee. Sorry, I was looking at the Hellions that were coming in instead of watching the Banshees. I'm guessing they probably died to the Widow Mines that were hiding around over here. These guys in particular. And there was also one up towards the front some more. The Widow Mines have been changed. They no longer explode. They no longer jump on things and explode. They shoot little rockets up from the ground at things that are nearby. So that's how they work now. And it looks like he was able to take out those Banshees with those, but there was a lot of damage done in the process. If we check the... Whoops, excuse me. Check this thing. Yeah, workers killed. 13 workers killed for prOxy. In that exchange alone. That's a ton of damage that was dealt there, and I believe he also took out a siege tank. So that really, really hurts. He's actually now... oops, that's actually a barracks. I thought that was expansion coming down. He is building another command center up over here, and just sort of sending out that barracks to scout. He doesn't really need it too much. Getting double armory up for those double vehicle weapons upgrades. Gonna try and go for some serious siege tank action very soon, I would imagine. Let's actually pull up the production tab again to keep an eye on it. Yeah, both players are actually going for heavy siege tank production with heavy upgrades. Looks like GornWood is a little bit behind on the upgrades. He's only got 1 armory, I do believe. And in fact, I can't even find it right now. Ooh, but we do have a little bit of a poke coming out over here. This barracks has noticed this, though, and the Blue Flame Hellions are moving into position. They do a ton of damage. The Reapers from GornWood can actually chew through them pretty quickly. Oh, but nice. The auto turret's coming down. They're going to be able to do a ton of damage to those Reapers along with the Blue Flame Hellions. And now it is 1 tank against that entire army. There is a Viking here that should be able to take out this Raven. But after that's done, what's the Viking going to do, really? He's going to fly around in circles. He might land, but he'll just die if he does that. So this is still a very scary push coming out. Ooh, and GornWood has taken a very, very risky expansion in the middle of this. And I'm not sure that that was the correct move, but it does look like prOxy's going to back off a little bit. Maybe wait for some more reinforcements. He does have 2 more tanks coming in. And he might just siege up over there and decide to go for a contain. He's actually now managed to take the air advantage as well. He does have extra Vikings. He's now got 1 more Viking. He's gonna lose one of those Vikings, but that gives him an advantage in the air control, so he's going to be able to keep any sort of, as long as he can keep on top of his Viking production. It looks like he is building 2 Vikings right now. GornWood is only building 1. That's going to be really, really good for prOxy to keep a hold of the air advantage. We are now 118 supply for prOxy to 100 for GornWood. Definitely looks like prOxy is very much in an advantage here. I wouldn't say he's won the game yet by any means, but he definitely has the advantage. And wow, he's actually gone up to 4 bases. He's building his 4th right now. Excuse me, 5 bases. Building his 5th, just exploding his economy behind this push. He knows he's got GornWood contained. He knows that there really isn't much GornWood can do right now. I mean, he's got the air advantage. prOxy does. He's got the air advantage with 5 Vikings to 1 Viking for prOxy. He's got the ground advantage. In fact, he's even starting to pump out some Hellbats. So very, very, very scary contain here from prOxy. I'm trying to find those Hellbats. Are they on the ground somewhere? Oh, they're actually right here. Okay, so here's another recent change that's gone in. This is actually one of the only recent changes that's the most recent change, excuse me, that's gone in for Terran. Is once you build an armory, you no longer have to research the Hellbat transformation upgrade. It's just something that automatically comes as soon as you build that armory, which is, for a meching Terran, that's something you're going to want to build anyway, just for upgrades. So that's where he's got the Hellbats from all of a sudden. You decide, you know what? I don't really need them as Hellions anymore, but now I can quickly transform them over into Hellbats and have a little bit beefier of a frontline unit, something that can do some frontline splash damage. Don't really know that they're still going to be that useful against this army. It does look like a mech versus mech composition going on right now. And uh-oh, up over here, whole bunch of Hellions scooping around over here into prOxy's base here. I don't know if they're going to do anything against those tanks, but oh, they're going to take out a ton of SCVs. In the meantime, this is the sort of thing that GornWood really needs right now, is to be slowing down that economy of prOxy. He does end up losing all of those Hellions. I feel like that exchange could have gone better for him, but that did bring up and almost evened up the workers lost count. 13 workers lost for GornWood, 10 workers lost now for prOxy. Ooh, and he's actually pushing out here a little bit, and he's actually going to take the air advantage. I'm not sure where... Oh, prOxy just did not have his Vikings in position. Unfortunately now, with that first volley and the weakened Vikings for GornWood, he's going to once again lose that air advantage. But he did manage to thin out the Viking count a little bit. He does have multiple Vikings in production, whereas prOxy has switched away from the... Oh, no, excuse me. He is building more Vikings. So, I believe prOxy will manage to retake the air advantage. But that is something that's very, very important in this. You can see they're just going to go back and forth like this. GornWood's going to build 2 Vikings and take the air advantage, and then prOxy's going to build 2 Vikings and take the air advantage. It's just going to go back and forth until someone slips up. Meanwhile, prOxy's economy has exploded. He's got tons of mules around all over the place. He did lose a bunch of SCVs, but at this point, when you've got... Is this all orbital commands? He is morphing in. Oh, okay, this one is morphing into a planetary fortress, but that's an orbital command. Orbital up over here. Orbital over here. He's got 4 orbital commands just pumping mules like crazy. At this stage, losing SCVs is still bad, but you have so many mules available to you that your economy is pretty much going to be amazing no matter what, at least in the mineral count. There are just scans going down like crazy. What is this nonsense? I don't know what the deal is with all those scans. But this is actually a relatively scary force pushing out from GornWood. He has managed to take a pretty significant supply advantage here, up by about 15 supply. Going to start poking up over here, going to siege up down this place over here. He has a couple Thors mixed in there, as well as a bunch of Hellbats and just regular old Hellions. Moving up around over here, going to actually might be able to take this out. I feel like prOxy should probably be lifting that thing. But he's going to try and chase down these SCVs. He's just scanning like crazy, trying to find those things. Looks like he will manage to find them and get some kills in. Those Hellions are actually pretty weak, but they will be able to clean up all of that stuff. I have no idea who is scanning who right now. There's just scans dropping down all over the place. Kind of hard to tell which scan is which. I imagine they're just scanning each other's armies, trying to size each other up, trying to figure out, can I push into that, or is that a little bit too big? Is this something that I can defend against if he comes after me, or do I need to worry about backing off right now? And in fact, he's actually splitting up his army quite a bit, sending these Hellions down over this way. They are going to get spotted by that barracks before it gets away, but ooh, and this is a little cheeky. prOxy, what are you expanding way down here for, man? You're down almost 50 supply. You need to be working on army right now. Your economy's great. You need to be getting some units out so that you don't die very, very soon. Man, this game it's tense. This is a very, very tense moment right now. These players are this is kind of a standoff at the moment, but it's very tense. As soon as one player decides to move, we could very well see the end of the game in whatever this next push happens to be. He's even landing his Vikings. I wonder if he's worried about the amount of air that there really isn't much air for GornWood, so I really wonder what his plan is behind landing those Vikings. They're just going to keep scanning each other, by the way. They're just dropping those scans non-stop on each other. We did manage to save that orbital command and float that off into the sunset, as it were. And here we go, moving in from GornWood. He's going to go right into that siege tank line, not even sieging up his tanks, just shooting as much as he can with the unsieged siege tanks. Not so sure that this is going to work out well for him, though. He does have those Thors in there doing as much work as they can, but there are battle cruisers up over here from prOxy now. He's managed to tech up to cruisers, and with that army, with the siege line already in place, with the battle cruisers backing him up, as well as the Thors and the handful of Hellbats, and even the landed Vikings, for whatever reason, that seemed to work out for him. They were buffering some of the damage. Now prOxy is in the supply lead by 20 supply. It's shrinking, but it's still a very, very significant supply lead. That was kind of an odd choice by GornWood to push into that. Really, I think behind that he should have been expanding, building up his economy. He was maxed, but moving into a siege line like that, it's just, ugh, it's always something. You want to be able to whittle that siege line down a little bit. Maybe get out a couple of ravens or something, drop down some auto turrets, get the splash damage. I don't know, something to be able to whittle down that siege line before you try to move into it. Now GornWood is still moving around here, being active with these Hellions. There's just scans everywhere. Like this entire match is just going to be non-stop. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's more. Just more scans. Yep, just keep scanning, guys. I don't even know what you're scanning. Why are you scanning so much stuff? Use mules, guys. Get more minerals. You don't need to know exactly what the entire map looks like. You can guess some of this stuff. Oh well. They seem to be having fun at the very least. This is a pretty epic match so far. I don't think this is the top level play. Like I don't know what league these guys are in. They seem to be making some of the, like, relatively basic mistakes that you wouldn't see like a top end player doing. But at the same time, they are still holding their own against each other and having a pretty decent match. So this has been fun to watch at the very least. This is a nice little move over here from prOxy, just grabbing that Zelnaga tower and shooting down with those Blue Flame Hellions. Took out a few SCVs. I'm actually really... Why are there so many scans going around? I don't understand what this is all about. I'm actually curious, though, what the worker death count is up to now. Wow, GornWood has actually taken the lead in workers killed, 24-18. So probably this big harassment up over here was what it was able to do that. And now actually throwing away a couple of Hellions, it looked like. He's going to come back around over here, pick off another SCV, 2 more SCVs, maybe even 3? No, he is going to die before he gets that 3rd SCV, but he is doing everything he can to try and squeeze his way into the lead again. He is trying to expand down here, but there are a few Blue Flame Hellions here from prOxy. I don't know why there's so many. Why so many scans? Dude, you're like scanning on top of a Zelnaga tower. Just put a Hellion there and keep an eye. Anyway, whatever. He did manage to scare off those Hellions, and this is, by the way, there's so many, like, these scans are starting to actually drive me nuts. There's so many sensor towers out now too, just covering the map for prOxy. I don't know why they're like scanning like crazy and having sensor towers out like crazy. You don't need to see the whole map at the entire time. Like, seeing the map is good, but holy crap, guys, use mules. What are you doing with all these scans? Anyway, we've got another big engagement going on down over here. The Yamato cannons are firing off like crazy. This This could go very poorly from prOxy or for GornWood. prOxy's siege tanks are not in position, but it doesn't even seem to matter. There are so many battle cruisers here that he's just going to rip through everything. He is sort of having to run away from this this whole bunch of Vikings over here, but now he's going to turn around and try to finish him off. He does have a few Vikings in there of his own. He's going to clean out the rest of GornWood's siege line as well. So again, GornWood is now way behind, 60 supply behind. That was a very, very painful blow that he's been dealt in that particular engagement there. Another one that he probably should have been backing away from. And in fact, with all the scans that have been dropping down, it's kind of silly that he even was there at that point. Excuse me, he should have realized that that was not someplace he wanted to be right then. What is with all of these? Please tell me he's not making even more orbital commands just to be able to scan. Like, he just has a whole bunch of command centers sitting up here. What are you doing with your life, prOxy? What are you doing with your... Hang on, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 extra command centers just sort of milling about over here. I don't know. Is he is seriously going to morph all of those into orbital commands. Now, we used to see... I don't know that this is what we're going to see right now, but there's an extra one up over here too. We used to see an interesting little tactic in Wings of Liberty a while back, where at a certain point Terran would just mass a whole ton of orbital commands and just get rid of all of their SCVs. You'd keep enough to be able to mine gas, but otherwise you would just get rid of all your SCVs and mine entirely based on mules. Not sure that's what we're going to see right now. If this game continues on long enough to see it, that is a ton of battlecruisers. They've actually got the Hunter Seeker missiles from the Ravens going out as well, and oh, those Yamada cannons can completely rip these things apart. GornWood is definitely in a bad spot. I don't know why he turned around from that. He can just go ahead and kill it, but there we go. More Yamato cannons coming out. That's the end of those Thors. GornWood now down almost 100 supply. This siege over here is slowly picking apart this base. It's a good thing they're continuing to scan absolutely everything. I'm pretty sure all of these are just for scans. I don't think he's actually using mules anymore. Not that he needs them anyway. He's floating 5,000 minerals in the bank. So yeah, this could be the last stand for poor GornWood. There are a ton of battlecruisers now, a ton of Ravens, and he's just gonna run away. Alright, well, you can go over there and... Alright, well, how does GornWood recover from this? Well, step one would probably be to build units. I feel like that's probably important. He is pumping out a bunch of Thors, but Thors versus mass battlecruiser Raven, not really the best composition, I would not say. Honestly, against these guys... I would say build a ton of Marines. Just mass Marines. Get as many Marines as you can and run right at him. He really doesn't have much to deal with those. Obviously, he does have, or did at least have the siege tanks. I'm not actually sure how many siege tanks. He doesn't have any siege tanks left. In fact, he's even running low on Hellions. Against this, honestly, Marines might be the best bet. He's going to try to come up in here and poke around at this planetary fortress. That didn't go well for him. I think he managed to kill a couple of SCVs, but otherwise that did not accomplish. Why are there so many scans? You just saw it with that scan. You didn't need to scan again, dude. Oh dear. Why are there mules over here? What are you guys doing here? What are you doing, prOxy? What is this? What are you manor muling yourself? Like, I get you want to repair them, but you don't need 80 mules to repair 4 battlecruisers. What is going on? More command centers. This is the silliest game I've ever seen in my life. This game is just ridiculous. There's scans going off everywhere for no reason. There's command centers going off everywhere for no reason. There's Thors. There's 8,000 freaking battlecruisers and Ravens and mules in with them for some reason. And SCVs are coming in way ahead of everything, so they're just gonna die. And okay, if he doesn't win here, then I quit. If this push does not win the game for prOxy, then I believe I've had enough, and that will be the end of this one. Well played from GornWood. GornWood has left the game. Alright, that finally finished it. So yeah, I would not call that a high-level game by any stretch of the imagination. It certainly seemed like it was an entertaining match to watch at the very least, even if it was just for the silliness factor of what was going on in this game. Just some... This right here. This prOxy. No. Just no, don't do that. This is unnecessary, prOxy. This is... Your lavish spending habits are a bit extreme. At least he finished with boob minerals. Alright, well on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Lore, and I will see you in the next match.